Hey everybody, Thrift Store Dave back here again to share with you some of the highlights of things that I've sold in the past 3 months that I bought at thrift stores and elsewhere and resold on eBay. So without further ado, let's start with a 1980s Harold Washington Women's Network election button. People were really big on Harold Washington in the 80s. He was known as Chicago's first black mayor. I bought a whole lot of political buttons on eBay a while back that I resold one at a time. And anytime I find Harold Washington stuff, I make sure that I sell those things individually if I can. Got 20 bucks for this alone. I paid $18 for the whole lot of buttons. You'll see another one a little bit later. So next we have a pair of vintage, probably circa 60s or 70s, Notre Dame University football rooter pins. I got these in a big bag of sports pins that I probably paid about $50 for, maybe less. I've sold tons of things from it so far, and these were a quick 10 bucks, so very happy about that. After that, I've got an interesting wooden watch that's a South American brand that I found in a junk bag that I paid 3 bucks for. You could reference that in one of my prior videos, but 3 bucks for the whole bag, 40 bucks for just that watch. After that, I've got another pin back that was part of a lot of pins that I paid whatever amount for, but more than made my money back by buying the whole lot and partsing them out one at a time. This one took a while to sell, but 10 bucks isn't bad. I was already in pure profit by the time I sold it. This was a quick 6 bucks made for a charm that was in another $3 junk bag. So again, helping to really make a multiple of what I paid for the junk bag on its own. After that, I've got another button or pin that was part of a lot that I paid $23 for. This one alone went for 10 bucks. So far, I've sold about half the buttons in the lot and I've made twice my money at this point. After that, we've got a vintage Eisenberg Ice Christmas pin. Anything that you can find Eisenberg Ice, if it's marked 2 bucks or lower, even 5 bucks or lower, you will always make money on it if it's not missing stones or if it's not in really bad shape. So great buy. I paid $1 for that one. This was a nice Timex Indiglo watch that I bought after having learned from junk bag lots what these things go for. Paid only $4 for this one outside of a junk bag, still made a really tidy profit on it. After that, I have another 3 Harold Washington pinbacks that I sold. I accepted a best offer of $8 because it was part of the same lot of buttons that I had that other Harold Washington pin that I got 20 bucks for. I paid only $18, including shipping for the entire lot. So I was already in the money. I wanted to just move things along and put up other new things. So swinging back to brooches, this was another junk bin item I grabbed for $1. Weiss is apparently a nice reputable name. No stones were missing. It was cute. It was timely for time of year. Made a quick 11 bucks on it. Didn't have to sit on it for too long. After that, had a Chicago Cubs season ticket holder scarf from the year that they won the World Series. I ultimately accepted a best offer of $14 on it to move it on because I paid 4 bucks for it and it wasn't in brand new condition. So again, make my money, move on. This was a very cool piece I found digging through my stuff at my parents' house. We found this on the side of a road when I was a kid in high school. Someone had ripped the hood ornament off of a Mercedes-Benz, threw it into the woods, and we found it. Interesting piece, probably not functional, but people like to buy stuff like this as decorative pieces. They sometimes will hang it from their neck like they're Flava Flav. Who knows? But I made 15 bucks from it. If it's free, it's for me. After that, we have a very interesting piece. It is a vintage shell hard hat. So this is collectible for people who like oil, industrial, or decorative pieces. At any rate, I paid 10 bucks for it from my buddy Stan, who sells me stuff from time to time after he goes picking at flea markets, was able to double my money. This metal militia belt buckle is part of a lot of belt buckles that I got when I went to my favorite thrift store, and I only paid about $2.50 I think for it, so I made a decent profit. I didn't hold on to it for much longer than a week. After that, I've got another pin back. This was a Martin Luther King one from the 60s, from when he was marching and he was organizing, and it was a great piece. I was able to get it as part of a lot. Someone wanted it, made a good profit. Now here are a couple of Chicago Cubs shaver kits that were passed out as a promotion to a game that I actually went to in the early 90s, found these unused at the thrift store for 50 cents a piece. So it was a no-brainer because, again, it was a national sports team promotional item. People always collect stuff like that. After that, we've got another pin back that was part of a lot that I bought, and this was another one that I was already in the money when I sold it. So when someone offered me $8 for it, I just took it and moved on. Now, this last hat, I actually had a really hard time letting go of because for sentimental reasons. I mean, a lot of us owned cassettes or CDs that had this emblem on it growing up, and we felt pretty badass having it on our cassette or CD. And so having a hat that's just covered in that seemed so cool. And so when I saw it for $5, I was like, yep, gotta have it. Someone's gonna want it. I just couldn't figure out a situation where I would actually wear that in public. But luckily, someone does, and they paid me $20 for it. So adding all these items up, I made hundreds of dollars. I made a lot more than I paid for these items, and I learned a lot in the process. I hope you guys did too, just watching these different pieces and realizing you can now see stuff like this in your thrift stores and know that it's valuable and that you can turn it for a buck. If you did find it helpful or you know others that did or could, please share this with them. Let them know about my channel. I'm hoping to grow and try to monetize to help make this more of a reality. And at the very least, if you could like the video or even comment on anything in it that you liked, that might also help YouTube steer some traffic in my direction. Thanks so much, guys.